This is the third step in looking at data for STEM. And here's my big data. We looked at the size of the data. A couple of other things I want to point out. In this column, fish count, we have multiple counts. In other words, 10 fish, 70 fish, 3 fish. I want to see how many total fish I have in my database. So I'm going to go to the end. And look, I have 2,301,762 fish. I clicked here. I clicked on AutoSum, and it gave me a total count. Good to know. A very basic way to look at this data is to sort and filter. You can do sorting A to Z, you can custom sort, you can also establish filters. If I wanted to, I can filter by region or subregion. I can filter by fish type. I can filter by fish length if I want to. And this will give me a quick snapshot. We're going to go a little further today, however. What I really want to show you today is how to use a pivot table. And I'm working in Office 2013. Before we go ahead, though, and look at a pivot table, let's go back to our student worksheet for who has the data. There are two questions. Which two species had the largest number of individuals, and which two species had the largest number of individuals whose length was greater than 30 centimeters? Well, it would take me a long time to sift through this data unless I did a pivot table. I'm going to insert a pivot table, and I'm clicking on pivot table. It's selecting my table. I'm going to put it in a new worksheet. And here we are. Here's my pivot table. So my first question says, which two species has the largest number of individuals? So I'm going to have a count somewhere, and that's my value. I'm going to pull fish count into the value. Here's my summary of my total number of fish. I like commas to separate it out. So it's 2 million fish. Which two species has the largest number of individuals? I'm going to try dropping scientific name. Let's drop it on the columns. So here are my scientific names. Those are kind of tough to read. Let's try the common names. Now I want to sort it. I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to my More Sort options. And I want it to be the biggest numbers first. So I'm going to go descending by the sum of the fish count. And here's my answer. The silver side had a million counts. So that's the largest number of individuals, followed by the herring, which had 214. My second question says, which species had the largest number of individuals whose length was greater than 30 centimeters? I'm going to go back to my query, and I'm going to insert a pivot table in a new worksheet again. The largest number of individuals whose length was greater than 30 centimeters. So I need to find a measure. I'm still going to need my fish count, I think. I'm also going to have to work with fish length. I'm going to open up fish length, and I have the option of removing some of the measures. So I'm going to scroll down through there. I need anything under 30 centimeters to go away. That looks pretty good. I'm going to okay it. You can see that this number right here, or I should say fish length, has been filtered. It has this little filter on it. I'm going to drag that down to columns. So I've got the sum of the fish count, fish length. I need something else in there. I need the name. Let's drop name into rows. The largest number of individuals. I really need a summary somewhere. There's my grand total down here. So I'm looking for the biggest number. Wouldn't it be nice to organize that? Here's the really fun part of a pivot table. This view is not working for me. I'm going to take fish length and drag it under rows because I can. Oh my, where'd everything go? Let's scroll to the left. Look. This is a little different way to look at this. And here in bold, it has my sum for the blue tang, for example. It's still not organizing it in an easy way for me to read. I still have to scroll. I want to go to my sort options. I'm going to do it descending now by sum of the fish count. Because remember, I'm trying to figure out which two species had the largest number of individuals whose length was greater than 30 centimeters. And here we go. The brown garden eel had 3,212 and the blade runner had 1,021. One thing that jumped out at me as I looked at my data and I went down to the total number of fish over 30 centimeters is that we lost a lot of data because when we look at the grand total, we're down to 21,000 fish.